All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Let's get right into this.
Access to times applying for government benefits can be a lengthy and complicated process. The Government of Canada's vision is to enable Canadians to use trusted digital identities for quick and easy access to online services. Emily's having a baby soon and is applying for benefits. Today, she has to complete an online application form, then wait 5 to 10 days for an access code. When it arrives in the mail, she will use it to create an account and set up direct deposit. What if she could do all this at once, from any device? She'd confirm who she is using her provincial or territorial trusted digital ID, consent to using personal information from her digital ID, and may choose to receive notifications. Once approved, she'd decide how to get paid. That's it. The government's goal is to enable simple, fast, and convenient access to services anytime, anywhere, on any device. We're working with government and the private sector to build the foundation and standards for digital identity across Canada and internationally. The future is closer than you think.
So, here's a few things. As you can see, their slogan is the future is closer than you think. Because we're already in the future, right? We are in the end days, as the Bible calls it, the last days. So I just want to say this. Not too long ago, I believe the Prime Minister of Canada was asked if he would implement the digital ID, and he said no, there was no reason to. But of course, as we know, they always say that and then do the opposite. And the next thing you know, I believe an ad for the digital ID in Canada comes out, right? So right now, what they're doing is they're showing you how convenient it is to have a digital ID and why it will be easier for you to have a digital ID instead of not having one at all, right? Let's get this out. Prime Minister of Canada says no need for digital ID. Let's see. Carney. Okay.
Keir Starmer's introduced a
Now, if you don't know why I didn't play that video, it's because I don't know what want to get copyright striked. Carney says no need for digital ID. On September 27th, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said Canada has no current plans to introduce a digital ID. His remarks were made in response to a plan announced by the UK, and we get that so far. And then now you see an ad, right, from Canada, I believe, on why you should get a digital ID. This is why I say these people in power, they say one thing, but they mean another, right? Swords was in his mouth. Right? Now it says, Psalms chapter 55, verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right, so you have something called doublespeak, right? So these devils, they say one thing. That sounds good. It sounds good to not have a digital ID, but they mean another because they're completely on board with the digital ID, right? They never want, even if they say something good, they never want good, right? They're complicit, right? So, in the digital ID scheming. So, as you can see, right now they're trying to come with the thing that digital ID is convenient, it saves time, it'll make your life easier, and I can kind of, hopefully I'm not using this wrong, but I can kind of give an example on why digital ID would be easier for the daily person. So if anyone has ever dealt with unemployment before, right, you know it's terrible to keep calling unemployment just to get your benefits in, or I should say your claim, right? Just to get your claim in for pay if you've been furloughed off before, and then, we could watch a video again. Right.
It can be a lengthy and complicated process. The government mail, she will use it to create an account and set up direct deposit. What if she could do all this at once from any device? She'd confirm who she is using her provincial or territorial trusted digital ID, consent to using personal information from her digital ID, and may choose to receive notifications. One device. We're working with government. The government's goal is to enable simple, fast, and convenient access to services anytime, anywhere, on any device.
Benefit payment sent. So that's the thing. So this, I could be wrong. I don't believe I'm wrong, but an example could be, let's say someone's on unemployment right now and they need to get their payment. Well, digital ID will make this easier because it'll put in all your personal information, and you'll basically everything's going to be connected to your digital ID, right? So next thing you know, you're unemployed, but guess what? Digital ID sends your payment or something like that. Instead of trying to call the unemployment people and not getting through, or being on there for hours at a time, or you're on a website and you're trying to file something out, but it's not working for some reason. Well, digital ID is going to get rid of all the inconveniences. But of course, it won't just stop here. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? So the digital ID is simply just a step that leads to the MOTB, right? It's easier to tell people to get something on their phone compared to telling people to get something underneath their skin, right? So don't look. The digital ID itself is not the CHIP, but it's going to lead to the CHIP, right? So we may come in a time where people do have digital IDs. It may come as an update on your phone, right? You may have your phone and, I don't know, you automatically get a digital ID updated with it, right? Or let's say you're going to work and your work requires you to get a digital ID to receive your direct deposit. Some people will just say, fine, I'll just download the digital ID and, press accept terms. Now, here's the thing. This is what we don't do, right? This is where we stop. And this is the part where we stop. This is why digital ID is quickly going to lead to the CHIP. Because of the digital ID, it's one thing to press accept terms just so you can get your direct deposit from work. It's another thing if the digital ID requires you to be up to date on your jabs so that you get your direct deposits from work, or so that you are in society. And we, as men of the Lord and Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, are to reject the jab and reject all these things from digital ID. Alright? So if the digital ID says to put something in your body, reject it. Alright? That's where we say no. Right? And very quickly, what's going to happen is they're going to try to find something more convenient when it comes to the CHIP, right? So, I believe, according to UK, it's either supposed to roll out by the end of this month or by the end of next month. I'm not sure, but it's coming quick. So, brethren, stay prayed up, keep obeying Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, keep the commandments to the best of your ability, and Shalom. And hope this lesson was edifying to the elect and hopeful elect. Shalom.